The Motor Dream podcast is recorded on Camaragal land of the Eora Nation. It always was and always will be the lands of the First Nations of Australia.
This is the Motor Dream podcast.
Welcome to episode 49 of the Motor Dream podcast, the show where we can dream just a little about what our dream garage would be if money was no issue. I'm Connor McNally and it's great to have your company once again. Motor racing is one of the few sports that can produce family dynasties that can extend through multiple generations. In the United States, the Andretti and Petty families have been firmly rooted in the racing ecosystem that dates back to the mid-20th century. In Europe, the Hill and Rosberg families have been influential in their success in Formula One. Here in Australia, the racing family ecosystem extends to the Johnson, Brabham, Richards, Davison and Bargwanna families. And now, there's a sixth family who joins this special group with the daughter of a two-time Supercar champion looking to make her mark in the sport. More about my guests in a moment, but first, here's a quick reminder of what this show is all about. I tell my guests that one day they wake up to discover that they've received a text telling them to check their bank balance. They then open up the bank app and they suddenly discover they're instant billionaires. As soon as they discover their newfound fortune, they get an email from this mystery benefactor that tells them that they can spend anything that they like and they can buy any car, bike or machine that they want. There is a catch though. They are only allowed 3 cars, bikes or machines in their dream garage. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But as my previous guests have told me, it is very difficult to decide what they like to have in their dream garage. As always, be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast itself wherever you listen to your podcasts, and be sure to check out the entire episode library if you've not yet done so. Also, be sure to follow us on our socials, which we'll tell you more about at the end of the show. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, Australia now has 6 family dynasties in the motorsport landscape. And it's a family that's made a significant impact, not just here in Australia, but internationally for many different reasons. The Ambrose family have been at the forefront of the sport since family patriarch Ross Ambrose created Van Diemen with Val Thurman Sr. in 1973, quickly becoming the leading manufacturer of Formula 4 chassis worldwide and holding that mantle for many years until the brand was retired in 2010. Ross's son Marcus would follow his dad into motorsport as a driver and accumulated a CV that many would be envious of. After state and national success in karting, Ambrose would apply his early trade in Formula Ford, driving the very brand of chassis that bore from the family heritage. Having come close to winning the Australian Championship in 1997, he won the European Formula Ford Championship in 1999. Although his attempt to make it to Formula One was curtailed by a lack of budget, he would achieve the lofty heights of supercars competition. He achieved 2 championships in 2003 and 2004 and claimed 28 wins, 66 podiums and 18 pole positions in the 147 races he contested. A Bathurst win, however, eluded him. And then came NASCAR. Spending 8 years in the US, 7 of those in the Cup Series, Ambrose would claim 2 outright wins, 3 poles and 46 top 10 results in Cup. His 2 wins all came from road courses. An impressive set of statistics achieved in those 7 years in the top flight of stock car racing. And now, the next generation of Ambrose is making their mark in the motorsport landscape with Tabitha Ambrose. Much like her world-credentialed father and grandfather, Tabitha has grown up around motorsport all her life. In fact, when she was growing up in the United States during her dad's NASCAR career, that was all she knew as the family travelled across the country in their motorhome. But it sure did serve her well because the racing bug bit quick and hard from a very young age. It wasn't before long that she started racing karts after returning to Tasmania. From there, she quickly jumped into the Series X3 Circuit Excel 1-mate category and learnt her racing craft in the highly competitive Tasmanian Series, and even made the grid in the Bathurst 6-hour support race in 2024. Last year, she moved up into the Australian Formula Ford Series with substantial support from Pirtek, completing a full circle moment for the Ambrose family. And for good measure, she also competed and won the New South Wales Championship outright. On top of this, she joined former podcast guests Carly Bacchini and Courtney Prince as a co-driver for their Bathurst 6-hour campaign in 2025 for Bacchini Motorsport. Until then, Bathurst had been a hoodoo for the Ambrose family. Her dad had claimed a Bathurst 1000 pole in 2001 on debut, but he could never get close to a win in Australia's great race. For Tabitha, however, she managed to successfully break the family hoodoo, winning Class B1 and claiming her first major trophy on the national stage. For 2026, Ambrose will again tackle the AASA-sanctioned Australian Formula Ford Championship for Pirtek as she looks to improve on her equal fifth championship placing from last year. She'll also be looking forward to sampling some historic machinery throughout the year, something that she enjoyed doing during 2025. And she's also keen to do some more dirt track action in the future, after sampling some micro sprint car racing late last year at the BP Ultimate Adelaide Grand Final, where she was also the event ambassador. In fact, when we recorded this interview back in late January, she was at Warrnambool where she was crewing for one of the teams at the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. So motorsport certainly runs deep in her veins. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy my chat with Tabitha Ambrose. Third generation racer Tabitha Ambrose, it's great to have you on the Motor Dream podcast. Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. We're talking to you whilst you're at Warrnambool. You're getting ready for the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic, which is happening this weekend at the time of recording. And we were just chatting before we started recording. You're a bit tired, a bit jet lagged, but you're absolutely embracing the sprint car life at the moment. The late nights, the late starts, getting dirty, watching on the hill. I mean, sprint car racing really has a cult following in this country. It's very popular, and you're absolutely loving it.
I am absolutely loving it. And that's such a great way to explain it to a cult following. That's exactly what it is. You've got your speedway fans, and I think it's such a raw form of motorsport. And that's why I get so excited about it. And you get to sit on the hill and see the whole track and all the action that's happening. And I think my favorite part's when they get to the lap cars, like when the leaders have to lap the cars, and then I like to see what they do and how they handle it and the pressure that's on. Also, it's just so quick fire. So, you've done a whole weekend worth of racing in one night.
It is crazy, isn't it? You just have to absorb everything that goes on. It's like a sensorial overload, if that's probably the right way of explaining it. Because you've got all the colour around you, you've got the drama on the infield sometimes when you get drivers ready to blow up against each other, the drama in the pit lane, if there's crashes in between heats, there's so much going on. It's like gladiatorial warfare every night when it comes to sprint car racing.
Absolutely. I think the street stocks get into it the most, to be honest.
That's true, actually. Yeah, it's really good fun. And I know you're keen to have a real crack at sprint car racing. You've actually done a little bit of speedway racing yourself with the micro sprint car. So how did that all come about for you?
So I was fortunate enough to get a spot in a micro for the Bend, thanks to the Bell family. So they helped run me for the weekend, and that was awesome. I had so much fun. To be honest, I was quite stressed out before the weekend because I'd done nothing like it. I mean, I did a bit of dirt kart racing up at Queensland, that track at QR that they have,
yes,
which was a lot of fun. But I'd say that it's nothing like the dirt kart, to be honest. It's its own thing, the micros. And the track that they had at the Bend, it was basically like two straights and a U-turn. So it was quite a unique track, and it was definitely a harder one to start on because it wasn't the classic speedway oval track. There were quite sharp turns, so you really had to try and pitch the car in.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, I mean, I had a great weekend and I got the bug, so hopefully I can hop in another one anytime soon. But they've got their big races on at the moment, so maybe later on in the season.
Maybe, yeah, that would be really cool. Although I know you've got your eyes now fixated on becoming a Kyle Larson doing the circuit racing side of things, because you race in Formula Ford, and prior to that you've raced in Series X3 Hyundai XLs, and then do the sprint cars in the off season. We've seen Cam Waters do that in the recent past, race supercars during the year and then do sprint cars. So something that I know you've really got your eye on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it was so exciting for me to see Cam go from the supercar and then hop into a sprint car, and also to find his feet so quickly, I think was really quite amazing, because a lot of I think what happens is that, like, when you're doing the sprint car stuff, you either have it or you don't. And I think you find that out quite quickly. And so it was really quite cool to see that, Cam can do both, and he can do both very, very well. Bradley Vaughan's also been racing. I don't know if he's in the classic, but it's also really cool to see him do really well in the sprint car. He's been making the A mains, and yeah, he's been killing it. So it's just another form of motorsport in the off season to kind of get around. And I think you learn a bit. You learn how to slide the car, control the car, and a lot of stagger. You need a lot of stagger.
Absolutely. You need to be like, one corner needs to be really low and the other one needs to be really high, because you got to get on that cushion there to try and get the drive out of the corner. It's very technical. It looks simple, but it's certainly not. Have you had a chance to talk to someone like Robbie Farr, for example? You get to see him quite a bit with the High-Tech Oil Super Series because he races in the TA2 muscle cars. But have you had a chance to approach him and ask for some guidance along the way, given he's very experienced with what he's done in the past on the dirt?
No, actually, I haven't spoken to him about the dirt side of things, but I have spoken to him at the track, and Dad tells me stories about Robbie and back when he used to race for time in the sprint cars. I mean, it's so cool, and to see him come to the TA2 category and also do so well, I think is a true racer, through and through, to like we said, get that switch from the sprint cars to the circuit racing. If you can do both, you can do it.
Absolutely, you can. You've grown up in a motorsport family that, it's ingrained in the family DNA. Your grandfather was one of the founding fathers of Van Diemen during the early days of Formula Ford, and they were a mainstay for many, many years. Your dad, of course, very well known in his own right, raced in NASCAR, of course, two-time Supercar champion, won Formula Ford way back in the mid to late 90s. So there's a lot of history and a lot of prestige, but I was watching one of the videos from the High-Tech series in my research, and you said that all you're doing is you're just doing your best to just find your feet and learn and just gain some experience along the way. You don't feel like you have the expectations to step up and perform like your famous father and your grandfather. So has that helped a little bit to, don't feel like you're under pressure compared to, what other third generation or second generation racers have had to, face in the past?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that Dad doesn't put any pressure on me whatsoever. He's great. If I turned around tomorrow and I said, Dad, look, I don't think I can do this anymore, he'd be like, that's okay. And we just, we'd pull the pin, and or we might just tone it down a bit. And maybe not be on race like a national series, for example. Maybe we just step back and do some state stuff. But for me, it's all about the journey and the learning. I want to be the best that I can be on the track. I want to be a supercar driver. I want to race NASCAR, but only the 1% make it through. And so if you're good enough to in the 1% club, then you're going to make it. So for me, it's just the learning and to see how far I can get and how good I can be to try and make it there. I am very realistic. It's very competitive, and especially I think in this day and age too. It's different. It's not back when they were coming through like Dad, it was Formula Ford and then straight to Supercar. A lot of the guys just went from the Formula Ford to the Supercar, and now you've got to really test your skills in Super 2 and try and impress everyone in the paddock and in the field, and also bring, a lot of backing for yourself. So I think, and I'm learning that side of motorsport as well. Dad kind of explains it as it's 10% driving, 90% everything else, because to get the car on the track is probably the hardest part of the sport.
And in your dad's time, when he was getting into supercars around 2001, he didn't have social media. It's nothing like what we have now. It's a very different time. There was great TV coverage for him back in the day with Channel 10 when they were the host broadcaster, but nothing like what we have now, where you've got social media 24/7. You have to make content creation and do these reels and that, and I guess step up to promote yourself. It's a very different atmosphere now to what your dad had to grow up with. Is he a bit shocked sometimes of what he's seen, what has developed over probably the last 20 years or so?
I think he has. I think it's changed quite a lot, and also the F1s, the growth of the F1s has become super popular. So I think that's also swayed motorsport quite a lot, and it's found a lot of new fans in open wheelers, for example, and also I think that's helped us in Australia with the supercars and finding its feet, obviously. But the social media is such a big part of it. to just grow your platforms and everything. I'm working on that. I'm not very good at that because when there's a camera in front of my face, I just freeze up and I don't know what to do.
It is actually intimidating, isn't it? When you have a camera in your face, it might be okay if you take a photo and you're fine with it, but when you've got a camera rolling and you have to actually perform in front of a camera, it can be scary sometimes. Are you working on that to get better and have a little bit of fun, treat it like your best friend? Like, I know you did some of the social content with Repco at Bathurst recently for the 1000 with your dad, and you had a lot of fun doing it. So it seems to me that you're really adjusting to that, being in the spotlight pretty well.
I am definitely at Bathurst. I got thrown in the deep end with everything. I wasn't expecting to be up on a stage handing out meat trays, meat raffles. It was really quite out of my comfort zone, and I'm so glad that I got to do it with the Showtime guys because they taught me a lot, and they actually taught me how to hold a microphone properly. I never knew how to hold a microphone properly, and so I was standing up on stage with the microphone way away, like I was scared of it, and they said, no, you've got to have it way closer than that. So they threw me in the deep end, and I did adjust, maybe not as much as maybe not as much as I was hoping, but I got better at it as the weekend went on. And I think that fortunately enough for me, Dad is quite good in front of the camera. And so he has taught me a thing or two. And so just to be able to lean on him, I mean, he's gone through it, and he went through it through, the peak of the supercars, the most exciting time, Holden versus Ford, all the rivalries. And so he knows exactly how to conduct himself and not say too much.
Well, except when there's Greg Murphy involved. That's another story. Does he like to be reminded about that? I know he and Murph are now a little better in their relationship now, but at that time we all know that it was very fiery. That just made it so exciting when we all watched it way back then.
Yeah, well, from my point of view, because I was very young when it happened, so I don't remember it in the moment. I only remember the replays and what people have said about it.
Yeah.
But for me, I was just like, everyone's got their rivalries in motorsport. You've got the guy that, you're competing against, or you've been, racing hard for the whole season, and everyone's got their rivalries, right? So for me, it was just another rivalry between Dad and Murph. But come to find at the Bathurst, and when we're doing the whole ad and everything, it was a very big deal for people because, especially for the fans, to be Holden and on Murph's side, it was actually quite a big deal. And so I think it was a really fun ad in the way that they got to sit on the Repco therapy bus. That's what Dad likes to refer to it.
Yeah.
And and just, I guess, reconnect and just, I guess, reminisce about the good old days.
How's their relationship now? Is it much better?
It is. They talk on the phone sometimes.
Wow, it's crazy.
They're friends. They've got a romance.
I'm shocked by that. I'm very shocked. Although I love the ad as well for the fact that right at the end, Jim Richards, of course, he comes on right at the end, waiting for the buzz, and he goes, "What a pack of arseholes," which reminiscent. And that's way before your time too. And I interviewed Priya for the podcast. I didn't ask her about that particular incident, but it's so good that things like that invoke so many good memories about Bathurst, be it good or bad. It just adds to the nostalgia and the history of what the Bathurst 1000's all about.
Exactly. And, it was, I'd never been to the Bathurst 1000. Can you believe it?
Really?
That last year was the first year that I went to the Bathurst 1000. Before, we just always watched it on TV, and we were in America for quite a while. I think I was over there for 9 years in the end. And so we just never really got the opportunity. And also we were living in Tasmania. And so just the cost and the travel and the hard work that it takes to get from Tassie to, Bathurst was, it was just all too hard. So it was really fun for it to be my first Bathurst and to be actually a part of something that was so much bigger than me. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
And the race itself turned out to be an absolute doozy of a race.
Oh my goodness. It was just insane. And the weather coming through, right, it was wild.
You wouldn't see that in a NASCAR race. They'll stop and they'll just wait for hours and they'll finish in the early hours of the morning. Bathurst, they'll just keep going and race in fog and rain. They'll just do it. So
they can't see them at the top of the mountain, but hopefully they'll come down.
Did you finally get it when you went to Bathurst and you go, now I understand what this whole fuss was about Bathurst?
Yeah, and because I'd done the 6 hour, but obviously it wasn't to the scale of the 1,000,
Of
and so I
course.
always knew the hype around the track because how awesome, is the whole circuit itself. I mean, every part about it is so iconic to the hills and going down. And yeah, it was just such an amazing track. And but to see it on the scale at the 1,000 was just the activation around, being a part of the Repco thing and to see how much effort and how much activation goes into a giant company like Repco at the 1,000 was so cool to be a part of. And just all of it. So just the atmosphere, the hill, I went on top of the hill with the meat tray. That was intense.
I've seen the vision on social media with that, and you were just absolutely lapping it up and having fun at the same time. So
I was.
yeah, that's really cool. I love that. Did all the fans, both Ford and Holden, did they embrace you along with your dad? Or is there still some of those Holden fans or GM fans that go, we don't like Ambrose, because he punted Murph out or whatever? They still angry after all these years, or were they very receptive?
I think everyone was quite receptive, and especially because you had both Dad and Greg up there, I think everyone was quite happy.
Yeah.
But you did have the iconic fan, like the back in the day, the through and through. He was wearing the blue Ford t-shirt, and he had his Ford hat on, and he was like through and through Ford. So you did have you had the iconic fan up there. And yeah, it was just so cool to see the atmosphere. And then also the new fans coming through and like wearing their, Cam Waters t-shirts or their Rock Phoenix t-shirts, and just how you had, some of the older guys that, were wearing all their old merch, and then some of the new guys, and everyone to like mix in together, I think was really cool to see.
That's fantastic. You did mention before the 6 hour, we're talking about the Bathurst 6 hour. You were a part of the all-female team with Carly Bacchini and Courtney Prince, both of whom are previous guests on the podcast, and both actually have won their class twice. You weren't part of the first year they won, but you won in the second year, which was 2025. It's a very cool thing to be a part of an all-female team, particularly with the experience of Carly, who's been very good in production cars, and then, of course, Courtney, who is very talented in her own right to win, to race in Porsche Sprint Challenge and Carrera Cup, and she's done Formula Ford previously. So, to have these mix of two very talented women and to bring you involved, did you expect to be so competitive so quickly and be successful?
I mean, learning from Courtney and Carly, they were the two best girls to learn for in regards to the car and the 6 hour. I mean, Carly knows everything about a production car, and she's just so fast in her own right. So, it was amazing to learn off Courtney. We did a couple test days and stuff that they were both a part of, and Courtney helped me out on track, and Carly helped me out on track as well, just giving me feedback and advice. I'd never driven anything with ABS before, so that was my first experience in an ABS race car as well. So just trying to learn the ABS and how much brake and just everything that goes along with a production race car as well. Some of the little, what do you call them? Like just the little bits and pieces, like turning off the traction control, and sometimes it comes back on. So you got to try and drive and turn off the traction control, just the little bits and pieces that come with the production car racing.
Yeah.
Was a lot of fun, and to be a part of the team and the Pacini racing team and how professional they are. I think it gave me like a real, oh my gosh, I'm at the 6 hour, and I'm actually here with Courtney and Carly, and we're about to go compete in the 6 hours. Very, very nervous.
Yeah, and you did have some experience racing production cars, racing Series X3 XLs, because they are production-based cars as well. They're in the same rule set as production cars in Motorsport Australia regulations, but the Hyundais and the BMW, they're two very different cars. You got a little Hyundai XL, which is like, it's only got less than 100 horsepower, maybe even less than that, and then you get this BMW with turbocharged, ABS, rear-wheel drive, whereas the Hyundai's front-wheel drive. It's a whole new way of thinking, particularly when you drive around Bathurst.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. It was a whole, it was a whole can of worms as well. And so, but look, I had so much fun, and to be honest, I quite like being thrown in the deep end.
Yeah.
I think it really tests like test the skill, and it tests, how far I can take it. And so, yeah, no, I really like being thrown in the deep end, but I think that I was quite prepared going into the 6 hour as well. Just with all the test days that I got to do with them, and we'd sit down and, look at the dial, look at everything. And so that was a lot of help as well. So hopefully this year we can, go back to back.
And you got the advantage over your dad. You won at Bathurst. He never did.
No, he never did. He never did. So, score 1 for Tabitha, Marcus nil.
Sorry, Marcus, we had to mention it.
We're going to keep going from here. We're just going to keep going up.
Does he feel a little bit jealous, your dad, or is he actually rather happy that you took the opportunity to go and do Bathurst at such an event like the 6 hour where you don't have that much pressure and you can just actually relax and enjoy yourself to a certain extent, but just, feel at ease in a much more relaxed environment compared to, say, a 12 hour or the 1000?
Absolutely. Dad was very anxious going into it as well. He was very nervous for me, and you could tell, and he was trying not to, be nervous, but he was deep down, he was very nervous. And you can tell when he kind of starts pacing and looking at things. And so when I hopped out of the car, he had the biggest smile on his face. Like, oh my God, she actually did it. She didn't wreck the car or anything. She came through and she pulled it off. So to hop out of the car and just to see him over the moon, I was over the moon because I was hot and sweaty, and to be out of that car was great as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was, and he was very happy, and he was the first one to say it. He was like, "You're the first Ambrose to win a trophy at Bathurst."
That's really cool. Well, he has won pole at Bathurst, so I guess he's got one up on you a little bit there.
A little bit.
But a win at Bathurst, yeah, you can take that. That's a good result.
I'll take that every day of the week.
Would you like to do, say, race a Hyundai at Bathurst, like the X3 XL, like go and join 50 other races to do?
Yeah. So that was in 23. In 23, we took the
that's right, you did too, yes.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I got too many laps. I think I was very conscious not to wreck on the Friday practice. And so I think also it was determined off where they thought, it was determined off how fast they thought you were. And so they put me up the back. And so I had to try and make my way through the field a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think in the end, there was a lot of red flags. So it was, to be honest, it was really hard to kind of show, it was kind of hard to get laps in at Bathurst in the XL. And it was really hard to show some serious speed as well, because there is so many cars, and, you're blocking, you're defending, because if they get the run on you down the straight. And that's such a big thing with XLs too, is that you don't have much horsepower. And so if you can carry an extra 2 kilometers through the corner, then, the next guy, then you've got the run down the straight, and that slipstream will help you out. So it was very action packed and quite nerve wracking. And then the next year in 25, I got to, I think I raced the XL in 24, sorry.
Yeah.
I raced the XL at Bathurst in 24. And then I also raced the Pulsar with the production car, the 6 hour car.
Oh, okay.
I was on double duties that weekend just so I could get some more laps under my belt. So then when we hopped in the 6 hour car, I was super confident.
Were you feeling you felt a lot more comfortable once you got those laps that you needed compared to what you had in 23?
Yeah. And I think being in the 2 doing double duties, I think really helped me as well. Just in terms of confidence being around the track. The Pulsar is quite similar to the XL. Just a little bit different.
It has a little bit more power too. So
a little bit more power, and there was a couple less people racing in the 6 hour in the Pulsar, so you got more clean running too.
Yeah. These days, you're now running in the Australian Formula Ford Super Series, part of the High-Tech Horse Super Series itself, and you've really started to really find your feet in your last year was your first full season. You're about to embark on your second season with the support of Pirtek, who supported your dad during his time in Supercars. So, that link between the Ambroses and Pirtek is still very strong all these years on. How much have you enjoyed learning your craft in Formula Ford? Because we know that it's open wheelers, but there's no wings, no slicks. You've got these treaded tyres, but yet the racing is still so competitive for a category that's been going for more than half a century.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just such an amazing, it's such an amazing car. Like
Mm.
it's a raw race car. You've got no downforce, but you still get to play with the shocks. You get to play just the whole balance of the car. There's so much that a driver can, hop in the car, drive it one way,
Mm.
and then another driver hop in the car and drive it another way, just because they want something different out of the car, and they can go do that because they can change the shocks, and they can change the ride heights, and they've got so much adjustability within the cars that I think is so cool. Because at the end of the day, you need to come in the car and tell your engineer what you need. You're like, I need more drive off the corner. I need more of this. I need more of that. And so to just be able to hop out of the car and tell them what I need for them to go, change the shocks or change the ride heights to try and get that drive for me is so cool. And then, and to be a part of Pirtek and have Pirtek on the Formula Ford is so exciting just because of the history with them, with Dad. I'm so honored to have Pirtek on the car because they did so well with Dad and they have such a great relationship. And for them to reach out to me and say, we want to continue this relationship with you guys and be a part of your journey through coming through the ranks is so special. I'm just so grateful.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say that's a really cool, synergy that Pirtek have with your family and themselves. So, where do you hope this relationship can go forward in the future? Do you hopefully go into something like a Toyota GR Cup or Super 2 with their support behind them?
I mean, absolutely. I can see myself in a Super 2 car. I mean, I can see myself in a Trans Am. So, but I got to take it one step at a time. We're going to compete this year in the Formula Ford series, which will be great. I think there's going to be quite a few cars now coming into it, which will be really good. And just see how far I can go and how far it can take me. I mean, when I go out and when I want to race, like I want to race to win. I don't want to be there just to be a part of it. I want to be up in the pack and I want to be having a red hot go. And so I think there'll be, if it ever gets to that point where, it's not working or the pace isn't there, then we know and we'll just sidestep or we'll just try and find another pathway for me to go.
I don't think you'll be stepping back anytime soon. You've got that competitive instinct in you. Are you looking forward to this season, knowing that you've got a full year under your belt now?
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. We did really well in the New South Wales Championship. I ended up winning that.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And to win my first championship in a Formula Ford was really cool. And then as well as just, I guess, on a national level, it's I guess the pressure's kind of on just because you're traveling so much, and there's so much stake into it. This year I'm running with Mike Borland. So last year Dad ran both me and Brad, who was my teammate, Brad James. And so this year I'm stepping out of his shadow, I guess one could say. I'm stepping out of the shadow and I'm Mike Borland's running me.
Yeah, it's Borland Racing Developments who run the Spectrum chassis in Formula Ford. So he's a good team owner and team manager to have behind you as well.
Absolutely. And to develop the Spectrum, like he was the one that developed, some of the cars out there. And so to have all that knowledge behind me to back me up and to just have that knowledge, is incredible and hopefully will help me out so much because to compete, like when you're running your own team for the first time in the Formula Ford, to compete against someone like Mike Borland who built the cars and knows everything about the cars is quite hard. So we're like, well, if you can't beat him, join him.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Like, please, Mike, let me join your team.
And he's and he's allowed you to do that as well, which is it's exciting for you. But not that I want to put too much more pressure on you, but Leanne Tander is the first and only woman, Leanne Ferrier, we should call her by her maiden name now. She's the only woman to have won the Australian Formula Ford Series or Championship or whatever you like to call it these days, but Australian Formula Ford in its long history. So you've got a lot to live up to and to emulate Leanne with her talents and her success in Formula Ford. I mean, we know how good she was during that time in Formula Ford. Can you do it?
Absolutely. I think sorry, what did you say her maiden name was?
Ferrier. Ferrier.
Leanne Ferrier. She's just so iconic. I mean, to go out there and win the Australian Formula Ford Championship is so cool, and it's so tough because especially at that time they were the best of the best junior drivers coming through trying to make it to supercars. And she's definitely one of the best drivers, and she also had that start in the 1000, didn't she, in the old girls?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And so I like to relate to that as well, because with the Bathurst 6 Hour and the Formula Ford and everything, I like to relate to that.
It's been about 10 years since she last won, actually, the Formula Ford title. So that was around the time. So she obviously finished third in 2000. So we're talking about 26 years ago. Then she came back about 15, 16 years later and had another crack and won that title. So, yeah, as I said, a lot to live up to, but no pressure, of course. No pressure. You, as I mentioned before, grew up in a motorsport family with your granddad and your father, but you grew up in the United States as well during your first 9 or 10 years of your life, because of obviously your dad racing in NASCAR. But what differences have you found with the culture of cars in America compared to the car culture here in Australia? Is there anything similar, or is there a number of differences that you've noticed over your young life so far?
So I was over there from I want to say 2005 to 2015, 2014.
Yep.
So I was over there for a solid nine years. And I do have a little bit of a twang left in my accent. I don't know if you can tell.
I can't even tell, to be honest with you.
Really?
No.
It's that's great, because some people are like, oh, you've got a little bit of an American accent there. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But
okay, maybe I just picked it up just a little tiny hinges there.
It's my R's. I really struggle with my R's, like first.
Oh, yes, I can actually pick that up there. Yep.
Yeah, I really struggle with now you're just going to hear it the whole time, and everyone else is going to hear it too. So forget I said anything. I think the first thing that came to my mind when you asked that question was the slang, to be honest. You've got the hood and you've got the trunk, and you've also got your truck. You don't have a ute over there. You've got your truck. Everything's a truck. And so I think the slang around the car community is a little bit different to what we use here in Australia, but also just the size of everything in America. Everything's bigger and better. And so their trucks are bigger. They've got the F250s, F350s on their road, and they actually fit. And then they've got those giant motorhomes, the American coaches and everything. And it's so cool. And they love their muscle cars. I'd say that they love their historic muscle cars.
I noticed now that we've got quite a few Australian muscle cars that are now popping up here and there across the US. So, a lot of collectors are now bringing them to the United States. Did you notice some while you were living in the US with your parents?
I wouldn't say I noticed anything in particular. I definitely loved, because I grew up around the NASCARs.
Yeah.
I love, just being around everything. I do love the original NASCAR. Like, I love seeing, the different variations as to what they got to today. I think they're so cool. Just raw power, just a raw race car at the end of the day. I think I keep coming back to just a raw race car. Like, I love, I've done some historic racing now.
Yes.
I was in a Tirana, I was in a Ford, and they're raw. Like, it's just a couple of gauges, you've got your shifter and go race.
There's another thing I noticed. Your shifter, like, you're not the gear lever, the shifter. That's a very American thing too.
Well, funny you say that, because in my time in go-karts, I started in the go-karts. Dad was, driver training me, teaching me, but because he'd just come, the last thing he'd driven was from America. I was going around going, Dad, it's too loose. It's too loose. It's too tight. The thing's too tight. Like, we were just talking in American race car slang. And it was just so funny to see this little kid run around and say, Dad, it's too tight. It's too tight. You got to loosen it up.
It's a very Days of Thunder thing, isn't it? Like, that slang has now come into the lexicon of motorsport language. I I now get it with Speedway, like the dirt track. It gets
Yeah.
it too tight or it's too loose at the top. I get it. It's still, I'm still trying to get my head around that, but it's really cool to hear that kind of talk. Do you shock some of your engineers or your team mechanics when you talk like that sometimes?
A little bit. I've got to try and, I've got to try and hold back and say, it's got understeer, it's got oversteer. Like I have to try and, but sometimes when I'm like, just come out of the race car, I'm like, Dad, it's just too loose. Like you gotta, it's too tight. You gotta free it up a bit. So, no, I think it's actually quite nice because then I've got, I can come back to it. So if I do go to Speedway, it crosses over.
Yes.
And I have already learned that the slang and what the car needs.
Fantastic. Are you champing at the bit to maybe drive? Because I know one of your dad's NASCARs is here in Australia now. It's in Queensland. The one that I think he won the road course on in Watkins Glen or Montreal, can't remember. But it's the one that was brought out by Brett Murray from Speed Cafe. Are you keen to have a try driving that car at some point if you get offered the opportunity?
Absolutely. I take it with both hands.
Yeah.
It'd definitely be different to what I have ever driven. I mean, the amount of horsepower it has to a Formula Ford is just insane. And so to hop from a Formula Ford to that, I think would be a really big jump. But like I said, I like being thrown in the deep end. So
yeah.
We'll see. I'm sure if the opportunity came up, I'd grab it with both hands.
You definitely would. And you've grabbed the opportunity to drive historic touring cars as well with the Falcon and the Tirana. Which is the better of the two when you drove them?
Oh, well, see, look, the Tirana didn't have any powered steering. So that it didn't have any power steering. I just had to use my raw muscle. Whereas the Ford did have power steering. So that was a lot nicer to drive. The Ford, I think, had a little bit more power, but to be honest, I love them both. Like they're both so different in their own unique way. And the Tirana was really fun at Winton, but it did get a little bit hairy at Sandown in the Ford because it was raining, and it was the most horsepower, to be honest, I've ever had underneath my feet in that Ford. So just trying to chase it when the rain started coming and the track got slippery, just trying to chase the car around, I think was really quite stressful. And it is quite stressful when you're driving someone else's baby.
Yes. Yeah, especially when you're going up to the top of the hill and you're going towards Dandenong Road Corner. Yeah. You do not want to go head first into that water.
No way. And so I am very grateful for Graham. Graham trusted me with his car. And it was a lot of fun, and hopefully I think we want to do it again. So hopefully I get another shot at it, maybe at a different track or so.
This is the Motor Dream Podcast.
All right, Tabitha, you love cars. I know that for a fact. You heavily ensconced in the sport, and it obviously translates into your interest in cars as a whole. But I want to know a little bit more about what makes you tick. So first and foremost, I want to know the first car that you drove. Do you remember your earliest memory of driving a car with your parents?
So it was actually at one of our friends. I want to say it was at one of our friends' farms. And so he had this old little bush basher. It was like a Suzuki. It was like one of those little, I don't even know. It was like a little Suzuki.
Like a Swift or something?
Not quite a Swift. It was more, it must have been, it was like a Jimny kind of shaped body.
Oh, yes, yeah. Yep.
I forget what that model of car is, but anyway, and Dad was just kind of like, well, just learn how to change gears. And then all of a sudden we started doing fishtails. We started just absolutely having a go in the thing. We were getting it sideways, sliding around, pulling handbrakies, trying to keep it just sliding on the grass. So that's probably my first memory.
Your dad's a hoon. What's he doing to you?
Well, he is a hoon. He is very much a hoon. I've learned from the best.
Well, this is coming from someone that's now running double ASA in the competition side of things. That's not a good example, Marcus. What are you doing?
Come on, do better.
Yeah, exactly. What about the first car that you've owned?
So the first I learned how to do my road license in a Mazda MX-5. It was
Really?
like a 1998 Mazda MX-5 soft top.
Oh,
It was blue. It
wow.
was we put half a roll cage in it, and we bought a bunch of spare brakes, and we had some spare wheels hanging out. So I learned how to drive on the road to the track,
Mm.
and then take it on the track at Sibbins Plains, and we do laps and drive it around and have an absolute go at it, and then get back, and then I'd put the L's back on the car, and then I'd drive home.
Great way to learn to drive a car, that's for sure. That's really good.
Absolutely. So yeah, that was the first car I learned how to drive in. Though now I drive a Subaru.
What Subaru are we talking about?
I drive a Subaru XV. So not as exciting as a WRX, but she's fast.
Well,
She gets the quick one.
given it's all-wheel drive and it's an SUV, yeah, you need it around the Tassie roads. You just to have that stability because it can get a bit wet.
You can get a bit hairy out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you grew up traveling across the United States with your parents when your dad raced NASCAR. Do you have any early memories of road trips that you remember?
I do have memories of the road trips. We used to have this like really cool motorhome because all of the drivers, all the mechanics, everyone, they all had these motorhomes, and you'd stay at the track. Though we never drove them, just because there were such big drives to and from each state, and it was a full-time thing. And me and my sister, we had to go to school, so we never got to be a part of the road trips as such. But when we were there at the track, it was so cool, and everyone, like, it was motorhomes for everything. So there was even an MRO. I forget what it stands for now, but we called it the MRO, the MRA. I can't remember, but it was like a childcare center for all the people involved in NASCAR in some way, shape, or form. So anywhere from the mechanics kids to if they're actually involved in the event itself, then it's like a daycare, and so they could send their kids there throughout the day. And so I made heaps of friends there, and it was in a motorhome, and we used to sit there and watch the race or play with the toys, and they used to have playgrounds. And so just the community around NASCAR is just so amazing, how you can have like a daycare center because it's that big.
I've never heard of that before, but that is actually a really, really cool story. I don't know if there's anything similar to this in Australia with supercars, but that is just wow. We got a lot to learn. Absolutely. Do you still have any of those friendships that you had during that time in NASCAR with those kids that are now similar age to you?
I was so young, like I was very young at the time, and then also this was we were so young we didn't have Instagram, and so it's not like we could get each other on the Instagrams. And then I think once I moved to Australia as well, that was really hard because the time zones are different, and so to try and keep that like relationship with people is quite hard. I think there was one time where I used to write letters with my friends, and we used to like go back and forth a couple times and just write letters to each other. But that quickly ended when it was like hard work.
Yeah, as you get older, it's like, nah, too difficult.
Yeah,
Move on.
too difficult.
What about you? Actually, just quickly before I move on with the rest of the questioning here, your sister, does she take an interest in motorsport, or is it more so you?
She has. We did go-karts together, me and Adelaide, and then she came up, and she never raced the XL competitively. She did some time trial-y stuff in Tasmania.
Yep.
But she was in the go-kart, she was always super fast. Like, she was super fast, and she'd put it on the second row or the third row, like she'd be right up there. But that competitive edge, I was never that fast. I just like tried to pass everyone. I was always trying to come through the field.
Do you think there's some hope that you two could race together, say at Bathurst in the 6 hour, or do an XL Enduro maybe?
That would be so fun, but she's on to bigger and better things now. She's just started a dental apprenticeship, so
okay.
she's becoming a dental a dental nurse. So, but she loves healthcare side of things. So, to see her do something that she loves and is probably going to be really good at is really cool.
That's not a bad sideways journey to go from motorsport to being a dentist. That's I respect that. That's a complete
Respect the hustle.
Exactly right. What about the first time you remember changing a tire?
Oh, first time I remember changing a tire was probably on the XL.
Yep.
Actually, no, changing the tire would have been on the go-kart. Does that count?
Yeah, it counts.
It counts? Okay. Anyway,
counts.
changing the tire on the go-karts, that was probably my job. I don't know how many girls my age at 14 was excited about changing the tires, demounting the tires, but I certainly was. If there was one thing that I was really excited to do, it was that. I like to try and time myself and see how many I'd get through.
Yeah.
Because I think what I liked the most about it was that it was the strength. Like I felt really muscly and very strong when I was trying to demount a tire.
If you got offered to say do a pit stop challenge for the F1 or whatever, how they have them at these exhibitions, like motoring exhibitions, would you just pick it up like that and just do it just quickly?
Absolutely. I'd have a red hot go at it.
I did one.
I reckon. I don't know if I'd be any good at it, but I definitely have a red hot go.
I did one years ago when A1GP was around, and it's not as easy as it looks. It looks simple. It is not. It's a challenge. What about music? What kind of music do you listen to when you go on a road trip or you travel to a racetrack?
I really like well, that's so interesting you say, because I made a playlist with Dad, and so because we used to travel so much, so we listened to a lot of music. It'd have some of his favorites in it, it'd have some of my favorites in it, and it was a mix of rap, hardcore rap style, and then it would go to
Hang on, who's the rap? Is your dad?
I was listening to the a bit of rap. And then it would switch over to dad's music, and it'd be something like "Boys Don't Cry" from who sings that? It's not the who created the "Boys Don't Cry"? Who's that?
Boys Don't Cry.
Anyway.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let me look it up. Boys Don't Cry. We're doing this as we're recording. Here we go.
Yeah.
Boys Don't Cry. The Cure.
The Cure. Yeah, that's it. So we'd go from like a bit of 50 Cent to The Cure.
to The Cure. Wow. So he's very much old school, whereas you love 50 Cent. What about Biggie Smalls, Tupac? Do you like those ones?
Yeah, all of those. All of those. I like a little bit of Lil Nas.
Nas, nice. Okay, that's a very interesting eclectic mix there. So does your dad understand all the lyrics with the rap?
No, he's like, turn that crap off.
Like a typical parent would do that. Yep. Totally.
And then I put on the Backstreet Boys, and then he gets around that.
Backstreet Boys. Oh dear. Yep, it's a staple now of anyone's playlist. I get it. I understand.
Absolutely.
What about eating in cars? Are you for it? Are you against it? What's your take?
I'm for it. I know. I'm most certainly for it, especially if I'm on a long road trip and I just want to get to my destination. I'll just quickly go inside, order the food, and then as soon as I get in the car, I'll just start driving. And I know that's so bad. It's such a bad habit. You shouldn't do it. But yeah, I'm all for it, except for if they are a beautiful interior car. I'm like, no, I would never eat in that. In my car, I'd eat in, but if I was in someone's historic baby, I would not eat in it.
No, smart thinking. But as long as you clean up after yourself, that's what.
Oh, absolutely. You don't want any of those moldy chips down the side.
Exactly.
Gross.
Did you get your license first grow?
I didn't.
Oh.
I didn't. I failed my license because I was speeding.
What?
I was speeding.
How? How? Why?
I don't know. I think I just got a little bit too excited, And yeah, I wasn't over, like I wasn't, 25K over. I was probably 5 kilometers over. So nothing, nothing harmful, but the driver instructor was not impressed. And then he told me, he was like, you're speeding, you just failed, drive back. And then I went too slow, and then I got in trouble for going too slow. So anyway, it was quite, to be honest, it was quite traumatizing.
I wouldn't be surprised. You would be crying. Were you crying afterwards?
I was. I actually did. I was very upset about it. It was very. I think it was hard for me to hear because I was go-karting at the time too, and I just started racing XLs, and I was like, I guess maybe I needed it, but I was confident. I was very confident driver. I was like, I've got this in the bag. Like, I've raced go-karts, I've raced XLs, but obviously it bit me in the bum because maybe if I hadn't have raced, maybe I wouldn't have been speeding. But anyway, I passed it on the second go.
Yep, I'm the same. Failed my first one, got it on the second one. So that's all right. If you failed multiple times, then I'd be like,
yeah, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
That's a red flag for sure.
Okay. Best car you've owned. It can be a race car or a road car.
Oh, best car I've owned. To be honest, I'm gonna bring up the Mazda again. The Mazda was probably the best car I've owned and one of my favorite cars to drive on the road.
Do you still have it?
We're in the process of selling it, which is really sad because it's really sad to see it go. But it was absolutely like, because it's so low to the ground, it just feels like it handles just like a race car without being like a race car, and it just feels so zippy, and you're doing 100, but because you're so low to the ground, it feels like you're doing 120, and it's just it's a 6-speed manual, and so that's a lot of fun too.
I've got an XR5 Focus, which I'm turning into a Group 3E production car for state level comp. And that's got a 6-speed gearbox, the Volvo 5-cylinder, front-wheel drive, turbocharged. I've had it for more than a decade. I took it off the road to turn it into a race car, and it's something that I can't part with it just yet because I just want to turn it. It's a project car, so it's something that you just gotta go through to the end with it and then just have some fun. So.
Absolutely. And I've got a second one.
Go on.
So we've just inherited a Hyundai Getz.
Ooh, okay.
And from my great grandmother. And well, when I say inherited, she hasn't died. She's just like given us the car. Let me clear that up. She's
okay.
she's still with us. We still love her very dearly. When I say inherited, she just kind of passed over the car.
She's decided that she doesn't want to drive anymore, and she's given you the car. Yeah.
Anyway, she bought this Hyundai Getz brand new at the time, and then when we get it a couple of years later, it's only done 54,000 Ks. That's
low. That's low.
Very low.
So what are you going to do with it?
It's so zippy. It's so fun. It's because it's only done like 54,000 Ks. Honestly, the Hyundai Getz, it's very underrated. Like, I rate the Hyundai Getz. It's a very zippy car. It's a lot of fun. Reminds me of the XL. Reminds me of my past. I get emotional just thinking about it.
I think anyone that races an XL probably gets the same buzz when they drive the Getz. I know I've interviewed the Tatani siblings from South Australia, Matt and Lisa, and I've had Matt Hull from Victoria. They've been previous guests, and they just rave about how good Hyundai XL racing is. So I can see why you have that emotional attachment with that little Getz now, because it's such a fun car to drive, like you drive the XL.
Such a brilliant, and front wheel drive, can't go wrong. So zippy, they're so light, it's bright yellow. It's just a lot of fun. I feel like Hyundai always produce the goods.
Well, you got to drive an i30N then.
I wish. I want an i30N. I was a part of one of the Hyundai track days.
Yeah.
That they just did at Winton, the festival. I got to drive a couple of the i30s, the hatchback, the sedan, and it's definitely it's not on my dream car list, but I think if I were car shopping, they'd definitely be the first ones that I looked at.
Well, you need to talk to Priya Richards then, because she's got one herself, so... Yeah, no, they are a good car. I do like them. What about the worst car? Is there like one car that you've had that you've gone, nah, never again?
We've got a Triton.
A Mitsubishi Triton.
Yeah, we've got a Mitsubishi Triton, and it's now it's I wouldn't say it's the worst car I've ever driven, but I think at the state that it's in now, it's pretty sad. It's definitely the paddock car. She's kept alive somehow. I don't know how. We have to bump start it whenever we want to get it out of the shed. Dad tows me along with in the van with the it's not even, it's just such backyard stuff, but he'll tow me along in the van, and we'll have like the ratchet strap, and then I'll like jump start it. And I'm pretty sure it's missing second gear. So
Okay, that's a bit concerning.
yes. Yeah,
Well, if it's a paddock car, maybe it's not so bad. I totally understand.
exactly.
Okay, we mentioned before about like the earliest road trips that you remember. What about the best one that you've been on? It can be in America, or it could be here in Australia.
Ooh. Um, Look, we've done a lot of road trips in Australia. We find that we like driving more than flying.
Okay.
Hurts my flying points a little bit because I'm trying to get up to gold. But every time that we go somewhere, we try and drive.
Yeah.
But Dad and I last year, we did a giant road trip to Darwin, and then from Darwin to Queensland, and then from Queensland to home. So that was the biggest road trip and probably the most fun I've had in a road trip. Though I do say I am a horrible passenger because I just fall asleep.
Really?
Yeah, I just fall asleep. I'm like sitting in the car, and then all of a sudden, like my eyes close, and I could sleep out. Like on a car ride, I could just sleep the whole time.
Oh my goodness!
I know.
Yeah, I kind of do that sometimes. I'll just fall asleep. I'm in the passenger seat and just try and sleep for a little bit. And sometimes I do miss the scenery. But
Yeah.
did you get an opportunity when you were driving to Darwin to go along the highways in the Northern Territory?
Absolutely. We were doing it was what, 120? 100 and
Mm.
130? No, I think it was 120. Anyway, yeah, we were zooming down in the van 120. It was a lot of fun. And then it was once we got coming down, and then we took the exit to go to Queensland that way.
Yeah.
That's when we saw a lot of the farm what do they call it? The stations. That's when we saw a lot of the stations. And that was a lot of fun because we saw like actual cowboys.
Were they like similar to the American cowboys that you saw growing up?
Not really. I think they were a bit different, but they were on horses.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the lasso, so they weren't doing that stuff. But they were riding on the horses, and they were moving the cattle.
Wow. The stockmans and that.
Yeah, it was actually quite amazing. We stopped at one
Station.
station servo/station kind of thing. And I look around, and then I see this guy that I went to school with in Tasmania.
Really?
It was insane. I was like, what are you doing here? And he's like, what are you doing here? And we're like, we're both like in the middle of nowhere at this like random station. And I just see this guy that I went to school with.
That's crazy. You still keep in touch with that friend of yours, or?
Not really. We were like, we weren't really friends. We kind of just like knew of each other, and we were like, oh, this is funny. We just bumped into each other in the middle of the Northern Territory, in the middle of nowhere. So that was a lot of fun. But anyway, he ended up working on a station out in the outback. So actually he probably sees everyone up there, to be honest, because it's probably the only stop for like hundreds of kilometers. But yeah.
That's an interesting story. Yeah. I don't think I've ever done a road trip and bumped into someone that I've not seen in years or whatever, but it's a very cool story.
So random.
What about pet peeves, things like stickers on cars or aftermarket spoilers? You know how people like to hot up their cars and put the most ridiculous things on cars? Like, is there anything that really irks you?
Look, to be honest, I love Speedway. That's a big thing in Speedway, stickers on cars.
Yes.
Like you'll see all the stickers on cars everywhere. It's actually quite amazing. But Yeah, I don't know. Spoilers, like I'm all for the aftermarket mods. I think that's really clever. Like I actually really quite like that. Um,
Are you a bit of a Mighty Car Mods fan then?
I am a little bit of my favorite is the what's that race called? The
Oh,
Lemons.
the 24 Hours of Lemons,
20,
yeah.
yes, 24 hours of lemons. That's like my dream race. Like I want to do that one day. And
Yes.
I love all the ideas that they come up with. It's so fun. But I think I don't know if I even have a pet peeve. Um, yeah, I don't think I really have. I think it's just so fun because like I feel a car is a way to express yourself. Like you're
Mm.
driving one every day and it's just another way of like personalizing it and making it your own. And so I think that everyone's quite quirky and individual. And so you'll see those guys with the stickers all over their cars. And you're like, yeah, I know what type of person you are. Like, I think you can really tell the type of person someone is from the car that they like their daily,
Yeah.
like what they drive every day.
Have you personalised your car?
I haven't personalized my car. I've got a couple of personalized scratches on my car, but
Okay.
nothing
Care to
intentional.
explain? Care to explain?
Um, yeah, kind of. I just sometimes like I'm like, um, parking isn't my forte. Um,
Okay.
I think Dad will back me up a little bit when I say that. I'm getting better at it, obviously, but I like driving forwards, not backwards. And so there
Doesn't
have been
any doesn't anybody?
where some bollards have fallen victim to my
Ooh.
wrath.
Okay.
Nothing that can't be buffed out, though.
That's true. It can be buffed out. Nothing wrong with that at all. All right. Here's a question I want to ask you. You've driven both historic race cars and modern cars. So, what's the one thing you wish people would appreciate more in cars?
I think I wish people would appreciate more in cars is probably the history and how far the car has come
Mm.
to get to what we're driving today. Like I think with a lot of the because I've been fortunate enough to drive the historic touring cars. What they used to have to handle back in the day is just insane. Like the heat that goes through the cars, just the interior of the cars, like it's just basically just like just the tub, the chassis, and the gauges and the old steering wheels as well. So I think just the appreciation of how far that we've come from a historic touring car to where we are today with the modern supercar, I think is quite amazing and just insane to think that we've come so far in not so long.
That's a good answer. I do like that. Couple more questions before we move on to the Dream Garage. Who taught you how to drive? Was it your dad?
No, it wasn't Dad. It was Mum. Mum taught me how to
Really?
drive on the road. Yeah, Dad did not have the patience for it. He was more he was more so an on track like driver coach,
Right.
engineer, like, and he's not afraid to tell me how he feels.
Okay.
He's like he's not afraid to tell me to stick like get my head in the game, stick into gear. Like he's just like Tabba, that was not like that was not good. Like he's not afraid to say it how it is, and I really appreciate that about him. Whereas Mum was a lot more patient, a lot more considerate, a lot more caring. Mum's got no road rage on the road. She is like the nicest driver I think I've ever sat in the car with.
Hang on. Are we saying that your dad has a bit of road rage? Marcus. Marcus.
Just a little bit of road rage, just a little bit of road rage. But doesn't everyone have a little bit of, I have a little bit of road rage. I'll admit it. I'll be the first to admit it, to be honest.
Oh, Marcus, what have you done? How does your mum cope actually with you racing? Like, has she got the calmness like she used to watch her husband race, or is she?
No, she'll sit me down and she'll be like, don't crash. She's like, Tabitha, don't crash. You don't need it. She's like, we don't need it. You don't need to be, drilling someone. You don't need to be that close to them. She'll actually tell me, she'll be like, Tabitha, you broke too deep. You broke too deep there. she'll tell me, she'll give me some driving advice. And then Dad and I will just look at each other and be like, what? What's going on?
Oh, I love it. Your family are very, very into their into your racing career just as much as they love their cars. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with your mum's tenacity to be very calm about it and not stress. So, because I know some parents would be, worrying sick about their own children going and following in their footsteps. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
kudos to them. Kudos to them. Okay. Last thing. What's in your glove box?
Oh, in my glove box is actually it's all my manuals, like all the little manuals. I haven't moved those. I haven't touched those.
Good.
They all stay there. And then also my I've got some I think I've got some Gatorade powder in there.
Oh, when you go to the gym and have the
Yeah.
electrolytes? Yeah. That's all right. Doesn't hurt to have that.
Always very handy to have, and probably some baby wipes.
Oh, when you clean yourself up after a race, of course.
Yeah, or after I'm eating in my car.
Oh, okay. Well, yep. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. Actually, one more question I will add on to that. Do you name your cars?
We have named our cars in the past. Dad's a big namer of cars. I haven't named any of the cars I've driven. I don't know why. I guess I haven't. But we used to name some of our road cars. So we had one car in America, and it was like I can't even. It was a Ford. It was like a black sedan Ford. I don't even know. It was so long ago now. Anyway, we named that Black Betty.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. It's only right to call a Black Ford a Black Betty. Yeah, that's a good choice. Good choice. No naming of race cars yet, like Paul Morris does.
No naming of race cars. Haven't named a race car. I don't know why. I think maybe because we had the race team last year and we ended up running 5 cars in total, the 2 Formula Fords and 3 Trans Ams.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think because it was not, I want to say on a professional level, but I'm going to say on a semi-professional level, we were more so calling it the love car, like the Aaron Love car, or
Yeah.
the Barber car, or the 45 car for the Formula Ford. Like, I think we were more so had to keep it quiet, professional, so then everyone knew what we were talking about.
Have you pestered your dad yet to get into a Trans Am, or is it just waiting your time, biding your time?
I have been hassling him. I'm like, when's it going to happen? But I think a Trans Am and a TA2, like, the field has gotten so good now and so competitive. I mean, with Alice Buckley coming through, Todd Hazelwood, Elliot Barber, Nathan Hearn, like, these guys are some serious races. They're so fast, they're so good. So I think to step up, you really got to be ready. You really got to be ready for the heat. You got to be able to be super competitive and just be ready for it. So I think I'm still biding my time. I'm going to do some more Formula Ford, so then when I get to that level, ready.
I was very impressed with how well Alice did last season. Like, just the number of races that she did, and to be successful instantly, that is just utterly impressive. So I hope she goes a long way going into Super 2 and then, of course, Supercars. I think she's got a very, very strong future ahead of her. Hopefully you'll have a strong future moving forward once you get into TA2.
Hopefully I'll be up there with her in Super 2 one day.
Yeah, exactly.
Or in Supercars one day, because she'll probably be in Supercars by the time I'm in Super 2.
Well, you never know. You never know.
Never know.
All right, Tabitha, this is the reason why we got you on the podcast. You wake up one morning, and as you're heading to the racetrack, you get a text, and it says, check your bank balance. And you think, is this one of those Indian phone call scams or whatever, or from them, from a Nigerian country, like a Nigerian prince? And you suddenly go, you know what, I'll check the bank balance, see what all the fuss is about, and you suddenly discover that you've become an instant billionaire. You get all this money, you have no idea how or why, but you just become an instant billionaire. You then get an email from this mystery benefactor that tells you that you can buy any car, bike or machine that you want. But there is a catch. You are allowed 3 cars, bikes and machines in your dream garage. So with that in mind, What is the first car, bike, or machine you would like to have in your dream garage?
Okay. Start off strong.
All right.
My dream car, my first pick would be the Porsche 911.
Which one?
The turbo, the one, it's between like the 1989 to the 1994.
Oh, now we've had in recent times the 930 spec 911, which was between 1974 to 89. So that's the model after that. Oh my, wow. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I think I know the one yes, it's very similar in style to the previous model, but it's like, okay, I'm picturing it now because it's like the 911 RS Club Sport from the mid-90s. Are we talking about that
Yes.
particular car?
Yeah, and it's got a different, because there was the turbo and then there was the non-turbo.
Yep.
And the one with the turbo's got the different body. It's got the sportier body with the wing.
Yes. Oh, yes. I do like
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
do like that.
I've never driven a Porsche, so that's on my bucket list. And I follow this one guy on Instagram. I don't know which Porsche he has, but he actually takes it off-roading. Like, he's modded it out to take it not like super off-roading, but he's given it some bigger wheels, and he's got like a roof tent kind of thing on it, and he takes it out, and I think that's so cool. I wouldn't do that with mine. I'd keep mine probably like only for a Sunday drive.
So he's gone and done the Dakar approach and made it.
Absolutely.
I do like that. So this is the 964 model 911. So built between 1989 to 94, designed by Benjamin Dimson between 1986 up till the model it came out. And yeah, it looks so different. It does carry over some of those cues from the previous model Porsche, but my goodness, like the turbo flat six, 3.3 litre, or would it be the 3.6 litre? Which one would you have?
Well, the 3.3 was the earlier one. I think that was from like the 91 to 92.
Yeah.
So I think there's probably a lot less of the 3 litres.
Okay.
The 3.3s.
Yep.
So I'd probably go like the 3.3.
Okay, so 3.3 is what you'd go with, air cooled, of course.
And the turbo was powered by the supercharger. Is that?
Turbo. Don't know if there was a supercharger. Definitely the turbocharged. I'm not real sure, but it's pretty cool though.
Might have to get a fact check on me.
Yeah, I don't know. You can be. Yeah, I think you can have a turbocharged and supercharged engine. You can have both at the same time, but I don't recall a Porsche being both turbo and supercharged.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely turbocharged. 3.6 litre. The M6450 motor. 3.6 litre, 6-cylinder, of course, producing about 250 brake horsepower, or close to about 185 kilowatts, which is just staggering. Rear-wheel drive, of course, and that rear-wheel oversteer. I can imagine you would have a lot of fun doing that. That would be you would be in your element.
I would be in my element, and there is quite a few people that I've seen them on the track.
Yeah.
Like, I think I want to say Elliot Barber drove one at one of the historic events, but I might be wrong. But like, just on the track, they're just such a beautiful silhouette, and I think that's what I appreciate the most about them. They're just such an iconic car, and just the silhouette on them is just beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. They do look so good. They are absolutely beautiful. What color would you have it in though?
I'd have it in like I think they do that like navy black kind of bluey color.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at one right now and it looks absolutely stunning. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yeah, I like it. It's a good start.
I think that'll take about 500,000 out of my.
Not that it would matter. It's just a
Not
cheap.
that it would matter at all.
No. What would the second car, bike, or machine be?
Okay, so this one is, I guess, maybe a little bit left field. I would have a 2026 American coach in the Eagle. So it's like those big American coach motorhomes.
Ooh, American coach. Oh, here we go. I'm having a look at this now. An American Coach Eagle, 45-foot diesel motorhome. So it features a Cummins X15 a diesel motor on a Freightliner chassis. And it's like, I can see why you've gone for that because of your, growing up in a motorhome when your dad was racing NASCAR. Like, it looks like a bus, but it is a genuine motorhome. And yes, I've never had a motorhome in the dream garage, but that is just wow.
First for everything.
Absolutely.
They're quite amazing. I mean, I don't think you'd ever be able to have one on an Australian road because they'd just be way too big for it.
Plus compliance would be an absolute nightmare to do.
Yeah, and I don't really think that they sell them over here, to be honest.
No.
So,
well, we will allow it all the same. But how cool is it? Like, you're basically driving a bus. That's literally what it is. But it is built to travel around, the highways of America. Do you remember what kind of motorhome your mum and dad had when they were doing?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I wish I did, but it wasn't to this extravagant level. It definitely wasn't to this extravagant level. It was definitely a bit smaller. But like you'd go up and down, I want to say the paddock area, but it's not really. It's just the motorhome area. And everyone, they'd just be all like, they'd look the same. It'd be like the same kind of motorhome, and everyone's got little different copies of each other's. And I think what's so cool about them is you can customize them so hard. Like you can get solar panels on top of them. You can get you can customize which colors you want, which layout you want, if you want something in a different spot, and they'll just do it.
Wow. I wish I had that as to travel around. I love it. That is so cool. I'm very impressed with that choice. But I can see why bigger is better in the United States. I love that choice. An American Coach Eagle, 45 FW. Wow, that's, very impressed with that. Yeah. What about your final choice? What would it be?
Okay, third and final choice is a classic F350 crew cab.
A Ford F350 crew cab. Ooh.
Restored.
Ooh, let's have a look at that. Oh, yes. Yeah. What year are we thinking?
Well, I like all of them. That's why I didn't put it. That's why I didn't really give a year, because they're just all beautiful.
We'll go maybe for this instance, if we're going for an F350, I reckon
it'd be like 70s?
73 to 79. They're the classic ones that I can remember growing up. Yeah, the Ford F350 from 73 to 79. I like that. That is, the crew cab looks really cool, actually. And they just stand out. It's a sixth generation as well. So look, the sixth generation of the F350, like they were actually built here in Australia too during a great time for Ford in Australia. So when you look at it depends. Like you could get a 351 V8, the Cleveland V8, if you wanted the Australian version, or you can go as far as say a 7.5 litre 460 cubic inch V8. You could just your world your oyster if you really wanted to go the old Cleveland V8, or you wanted to go big with 7.5 litres. I mean,
and I think what's really exciting about them too is that a lot of them are just the 4-speed.
Just 4 on the floor, nothing fancy. Just
nothing more, nothing less. It's a good amount of gears. I don't know why you even would have a 6-speed when you could just have 4. So.
Exactly. You can just travel around Australia or travel around America and just put your hand on the windowsill and just drive around. It's like, couldn't care less, just enjoying the road.
Exactly.
I love it. That's a very, very good choice. A bit of European muscle there, but also, the best of America. I'm so impressed, particularly with the American Coach Eagle motorhome.
Oh, nice.
That I am, wow. So we've had yachts on the podcast in the past, but motorhome is a first. So that's very impressive. But the portion
I was going to throw a truck in there, like a proper like semi.
All right. Well, let's hear it. I'm open for it.
It's the classic what's it called?
You're looking up yourself.
I am. I've got to remember the
Are we talking a Mac, a Peterbilt?
Yeah, no, it was the oh my God, it's gonna come to me now. It wasn't the Mac, it was the Kenworth.
The Kenworth.
Kenworth.
Do you know what particular model?
No, I don't have a particular model. I actually really like the new models. Like I know, like, you know, I really like the modern, like 20 very modern ones.
Oh, you really love your big rigs, don't you?
I love my big rigs. I just think the Kenworth is such an iconic truck.
Yeah.
And you know, I see a couple in the Pirtek area. I don't know. I don't think yeah, anyway, I love the Kenworths. I think that they're just huge, bigger the better. And I love this, like, for me, it always really comes back to the body and the shape, because I was going to go to school for architecture.
Yeah.
And so I think I love design and shape and silhouette of cars and how it looks to the eye.
Yeah.
I think for me, that's a really big part of, you know, what I like to drive. Of course, I like the horsepower, but I think, you know, if you have a sleek looking car, the horsepower matches the car. I think that's a really big plus for me. And so, yeah, I really like the edges of the Kenworths.
Yeah, I do agree with that. It doesn't matter what particular model Kenworth. If it's just a Kenworth you want, yep, we'll go with that. That's really nice. I'll allow that.
Okay.
So I'll allow 4 in.
Thank you.
So the Porsche 964 model 911 Turbo, which is I do like a lot. The American Coach Eagle 45 FW motorhome. Very impressed with that. And then you got the Ford F350 from 73 to 79. Doesn't matter which year, but yeah, we'll go with, say, the 7.5 litre V8, 4 on the floor, and then any Kenworth truck in the current range. I'm very happy with that. That's a very, very suitably tasteful dream garage for someone like yourself that really loves bigger and better. So I love it. It's a really cool dream garage, Tabitha. It's I'm smiling because that's
awesome.
a very unique, very you dream garage, and I can see you put a lot of effort into, you know, putting a good list together. I like it. It's been a great pleasure to have you on the podcast, and thank you for being so generous with your time whilst you're in your travels doing the Grand Annual Sprint Car Classic. So thank you so much. Good luck for this year in the High-Tech Oil Super Series, and of course, we'll see you on the screens of SBS and also via the live stream on Facebook with the High-Tech Oil Super Series page. So good luck, and we wish you all the best for your future endeavours in Australian motorsport.
Awesome. No, thanks so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, it's been great.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming on. We've had aeroplanes, yachts, stadium trucks and big rig trucks in the ever-expanding Dream Garage. But a motorhome? Well, when you've grown up in NASCAR heartland, it's the only way you have to travel across the United States. It's a shame that these kind of vehicles aren't eligible to be registered in Australia. But I can definitely see Tabitha owning one in the years ahead. Now, since this interview was conducted, Tabitha has been quite busy with her racing since the season began properly back in March. She currently sits 13th in the Australian Formula Ford Championship standings after a busy opening 3 rounds. And in terms of the Bathurst 6 Hour, she returned to defend her class crown with Courtney Prince and Carly Bacchini, and I'm pleased to say the trio won Class B1 for the 2nd year in a row. For Bacchini and Prince, they've now won their class for 3 straight years, creating more Bathurst endurance history. My thanks to Tabitha for being such a great guest, and you can follow her exploits in the Australian Formula Ford Championship as part of the High-Tech Oil Super Series. Live coverage of all rounds is on the screens of SBS and SBS On Demand, as well as Fox Sports 506 and KO Sports. You can also follow Tabitha on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. We've put the links in the show notes, as well as the Motor Dream podcast website. The address to visit the show website is themotordream.com.au, where you can listen to past episodes, find more information on each of our guests, and also on the show itself. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram with the handle The Motor Dream, and you can start a conversation about your dream garage by using the hashtag The Motor Dream, or drop us a line on what your dream garage would be, or leave us some feedback on the show itself. Our email is themotordream@beastproductions.com.au. Lastly, make sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, and you can also find us on the Podbean and iHeartRadio apps. Thanks for listening, and remember to drive or ride safely out on the roads wherever you go. We'll be back for another episode in a couple of weeks' time where we celebrate our 50th episode. And it's a special episode because our guests are the winners of the 2026 High-Tech Oils Bathurst 6 Hour, Ben and Michael Cavic. Until then, we'll see you next time on the Motor Dream Podcast. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the Motor Dream Podcast. This series is proudly produced by Beast Productions.